and I don't cut the excess strings out yet, and I'll explain why I don't do that. Alright, gearheads, in this video I'm gonna swap out these strings for my favorite strings, the Alexer 10 to 46. Of course, you're going to need new sets of strings, wire cutter, and a string winder. Of course, if you don't have this, you know, old-fashioned way is unwind by hand. So let's go. So what I like to do is I like to change string one at a time. I don't want to take them all out yet, so you know, kind of preserve the neck settings and stuff like that. So I like to do from the low E first. So let's go. And then roll up the old strings and then put into the wrapper of the new strings. And what I like to do is I like to give it a tuner length from one to the other and do the loop. So I back that up, twist it up and go under. Okay, go under and twist it over. Also, just for tuning stability and also preference as well, I like to have all my string either roll on top of each other or on the bottom of each other. So, and then give it a stretch. And I don't cut the excess strings out yet, and I'll explain why I don't do that. So most people would, you know, when they change strings, either they cut them all off at the same time and then clean the fretboard and then whatnot. Well, I've already did some fret cleaning a few days ago, and then all the you know, polishing the hardware and stuff like that, so I don't need to do that. But this is my way of changing strings, so I'm sure y'all have your ways of doing it too. Okay, go on to the next one. Next one is 36 DA string. So as you can see, the string just passes through straight, and then one tuner length, back it up, twist under, and then twist it again, hold it right there, like so. Give it a stretch, and repeat the process for the next 4 strings. Now, if your guitar has a string tree, make sure that it goes under the string tree first, and then measure the tuner length. You know, when you stretch the strings, the B string and the high E strings those are the thinnest strings. So be careful, don't pull or stretch it too hard, you might break it. There are many ways to change strings. So some would cut it in half. I just prefer it this way. So before you do your tuner length access string, make sure it sits on the saddle. If you have a string tree, make sure it's under the string tree, and then do your twists and turns, you know, to give it the proper slack. Nearly halfway done here. Okay, so the reason I don't cut the access string off after I completely have the guitar in tune is that if you were to cut these off before you tune the guitar, and if you needed to do some, you know, some maintenance, some dusting, so on, so on, is that if you happen to get your fingers on these sharp ends here, you know how painful that goes, right? So what I like to do is get the guitar in tune, into pitch and stuff like that. Once all the strings are stretched and everything, and then I cut them off. Okay, so now that the guitar is in tune, I can go ahead and snip off these excess string. In this case, look at that. You know, I can be all over the access string and I'll be okay. But if the guitar access string is cut off, of course I cannot, you know, throw my hand like that. Otherwise I will get all cuts all over, right? So now I can cut them off. I like to cut them off at the very edge of that tuner right there. The top of that tuner. Be careful, you don't want to, if you snip them off, make sure you don't grab any other string besides that strings to be cut off. Especially these 3 strings, they look so invisible, so just snap them slowly so that you don't accidentally cut off the string. Okay, so we're in tune. Okay, one other thing, my other pet peeve is this: I don't understand when people strung up their guitar, they have their access strings, you know, left on the top of the guitar. I know it's just a preference thing. It just bugs the hell out of me when I see one. But my question is why? We have cutters now, okay? So cut it off, you know, just make the appearance of the guitar, you know, look presenting, instead of having, you know, these just dangling and flopping around all over your headstock. But that's just me. All of my guitars are, you know, flush looking. I don't have any access strings hanging around on my tuners. Okay, so if you got yourself this far to the video, please consider subscribe to my channel. It will help my channel tremendously. Thank you, and rock on.